In a dramatic turn of events, Isabel Oakeshott recently appeared live on television and criticised Keir Starmer in an unprecedented manner. Her revelations not only threatened to embarrass him, but could also dismantle everything we think we know about leadership in the United Kingdom. This moment has shaken Westminster, with millions saying, "Starmer's time is up." As this video spreads rapidly on social media, the question everyone is asking is, can Starmer recover from this devastating blow, or is this the final nail in the coffin of his political career? Stay tuned, as what happens next could change everything. Isabel Oakeshott accused Keir Starmer of focusing solely on image rather than action, portraying him as an indecisive leader who fails to address the UK's pressing issues. She alleged that Starmer has not delivered on his campaign promises, such as tackling corruption and uniting the nation. Instead, he has caused financial controversies and lacked bold initiatives. Starmer has been criticised for failing to seize opportunities to act decisively, opting instead for cautious responses and always taking the easy route. The gap between him and voters continues to widen, with a petition demanding a general election gathering millions of signatures. Starmer's lukewarm reaction has left voters increasingly disillusioned. Oakeshott accused Starmer of arrogance and disrespect for the public, causing Labour to drift further away from those seeking a genuine alternative to the Conservatives. In stark contrast to Starmer's cautious style, Oakeshott pointed to leaders like Nigel Farage, known for his bold and uncompromising approach. She suggested that Farage's daring and unapologetic political style might be exactly what the UK needs during these challenging times. Farage's name alone sparks heated debate, but his track record of decisive leadership and ability to galvanise public support is undeniable. From playing a key role in the Brexit referendum to his ongoing criticism of the political establishment, Farage has built his career on challenging the status quo. Although his methods are often divisive, Oakeshott hinted that this kind of leadership might be what the UK needs to navigate the current crisis. The comparison to Starmer, whom she described as overly cautious and lacking conviction, underscores growing dissatisfaction with traditional leadership styles that prioritise consensus over clarity. Public opinion polls reflect mounting frustration with Starmer's approach and his inability to articulate a clear vision for the future, resulting in a sharp decline in voter trust. Many perceive Keir Starmer as a leader who promises much but delivers little, an impression that is increasingly difficult to shake. Meanwhile, political outsiders like Nigel Farage are gaining attention in public discourse, with more people expressing a willingness to consider options beyond the traditional political framework. This shift highlights a demand for change that goes beyond dissatisfaction with Labour, reflecting a broader disillusionment with mainstream politics. Isabel Oakeshott criticised Keir Starmer for his lack of decisive leadership, which she claimed has fueled public dissatisfaction and calls for a general election. She warned that this could undermine both Starmer's credibility and that of the Labour Party. Oakeshott also emphasised the disconnect between politicians and the people, arguing that leaders who fail to listen lose relevance. She suggested that Nigel Farage, despite being a controversial figure, could replace Starmer with his strong leadership style. The resurgence of Farage in political discussions reflects a shift in the political landscape, as Labour is criticised for lacking differentiation from the Conservatives, thereby eroding its credibility. The debate between cautious pragmatism and bold leadership lies at the heart of current political discussions, as voters increasingly demand the latter. The public's desire for change is undeniable. Petitions, protests and survey data all point to growing frustration with the status quo. Oakeshott's critique of Starmer reflects a broader discontent, capturing the mood of a nation that feels abandoned by its leadership. The idea of Farage or another outsider entering politics reflects a yearning for something different, even if it comes with uncertainty. Whether these figures can deliver on their promises remains an open question, but their rise underscores a fundamental shift in British politics. Ultimately, Oakeshott's sharp criticism of Starmer is not just about the shortcomings of one leader, but also about a broader leadership crisis in the UK. Her words have sparked a national conversation about what voters expect from their leaders and how the political system can better serve the people it represents. As the UK navigates this challenging period, the issues facing Labour and the country are more urgent than ever. The question now is whether Starmer can rise to the challenge and prove his critics wrong, or whether the search for alternative leadership will reshape the political landscape in the years to come. Time will tell, but one thing is clear: the need for decisive and effective leadership has never been more pressing. In another development, Anne Puckridge, a 99-year-old World War II veteran who dedicated her life to serving her country, recently shared a harrowing truth about her current circumstances. Her words have resonated nationwide, sparking both empathy and outrage over Starmer's apparent indifference to the struggles of those who served the nation. At nearly 100 years old, Anne lives on a frozen pension of just £72.50 a week, abandoned by the very country she served. After travelling 4,400 miles from Canada to Westminster to demand fairness, she was denied meetings with both Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer. This betrayal has incited public anger and calls for accountability. Watch this shocking interview for more.
Of older people coming to your food bank worried about the heating and eating.
We've seen an increase since July, August this year, and it's something that we've never expected this. We've been running food banks for nearly 12 years now, and every week is really different. They get different referrals from social services, schools, doctors, and we've seen a huge increase in just the inquiries on pensioners in Hammersmith and Fulham and Kensington and Chelsea, where, as you say, they're just over the threshold on, and they don't know what to do next, because that fuel allowance makes the difference of heating and eating during November, December, January, when it gets cold and the flats and houses are absolutely freezing. So yeah, we've seen a huge increase, and it's something I can't get my head around why Labour have done that. It's unbelievable.
Anne's story began when she joined the war effort at the age of 17, decoding Nazi messages for the Allied forces. Her contributions earned her medals and helped secure victory. After the war, she worked and paid taxes in the UK for over 50 years, hoping for a peaceful retirement. However, when she moved to Canada in 2001, she was unaware that her pension would be frozen. For over 2 decades, her pension has remained at just £72.50 per week, less than half the current rate in the UK. She estimates having lost around £60,000 due to the lack of pension increases. She expressed her heartbreak over her situation. "Christmas and birthdays are sad occasions. I can't afford to buy my grandchildren gifts or contribute to family celebrations," she said, her voice tinged with regret and sorrow. "I feel ashamed to be British," she admitted. Anne's plight is part of a larger scandal affecting over 450,000 UK pensioners living abroad in countries such as Canada, Australia and South Africa. These individuals are excluded from the UK's triple lock policy, which ensures annual pension increases tied to inflation due to a discriminatory government policy. This policy forces them to live in poverty, despite decades of contributions to the UK economy. This month, Anne travelled to Westminster to demand justice for herself and thousands of others. However, both Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and Labour leader Keir Starmer refused to meet her. Instead, Anne met with Pensions Minister Emma Reynolds. Though critics dismissed the meeting as a superficial gesture, Anne remarked, "This isn't just about me, it's about every victim of this frozen pensions scandal." The public response to Anne's story has been swift and strong. A petition started by her daughter Gillian Mittens has gathered over 130,000 signatures, demanding the government address the frozen pensions issue and meet Anne face to face. On social media, hashtags such as #JusticeForAnne and #FrozenPensions have trended, with users expressing outrage over the government's treatment of its veterans. Veteran organisations and charities have also rallied behind Anne, condemning the government for betraying those who served the nation with honour. One supporter stated, "It's shameful that someone who fought for our freedom now has to fight to survive." The frozen pensions policy has been criticised as outdated and unnecessary, with experts estimating that ending the policy would cost less than 1% of the national pension budget. The Institute of Economic Affairs has called the policy unprincipled, and many consider it a national disgrace. Critics also point to inconsistencies in government priorities, highlighting how the UK Foreign Office provides aid to migrants from the Chagos Islands while neglecting its citizens living in poverty abroad.